It's your boy Anime Squad 101 here. I am back with another video. What if Deku had telekinesis but stronger? So I was gonna post this yesterday, but online school does not help, and they gave us homework, and by the time I finished it all, I did not have time to post a video. So yeah, sorry about that. Let's get into the what if. The what if starts the day before Deku's fourth birthday. Deku just ate and is watching his All Might clips. While Deku is watching his All Might clips, Deku tells his mom that as soon as he gets his quirk tomorrow, he will become the #1 hero. His mom disagrees and laughs it off. The next day, at the quirk doctor walks into the room with a surprised face, then proceeds to say to Deku's mom that your son here has a powerful quirk, and it should activate in a day or two. The doctor asks Iko what's her quirk and what's the father's quirk. Iko tells the doctor that she has a weak telekinesis and her husband has a fire breathing. The doctor told Iko that your son has a very, very strong version of your quirk. Right now, your son can pick up items that are 65 pounds or less. Though if he used too much, he will get a massive headache. If he trains, he can carry more weight with his telekinesis. The next day at school, when Deku goes back to school, Bakugo asks Deku what his quirk is. Deku tells Bakugo that he will get a telekinesis quirk, and he can pick up stuff that are 65 pounds, though if used too much, he will get a massive headache. Then Bakugo asks, can he make him float? Then Deku tries to float Bakugo, and Bakugo starts floating. Everyone's amazed to see Bakugo float. Then they crowd around Bakugo and ask him how he's floating. Bakugo tells everyone that it was a Zuku, and then everyone asks what his quirk, and so he explained his quirk. I'm gonna still call Deku for simplicity's sake, but no one calls Deku that. No one calls it Midoriya Deku. 10 years later, it's the last day of middle school, and the teacher walks with his hands out for different school applications. Then he throws the papers in the air and says, "What's the point? I know you all want to be in the hero track." Then everyone starts using the quirk. Side note, Deku can carry a bit more than a ton with his telekinesis. About 2,370 pounds. I already said that. Then Bakugo tells everyone they're extras and that me and Deku are gonna be the next 1 and 2 heroes. Deku just sits there saying, "Don't let me in with your craziness, Bakugo." Then the bell rings. Then Deku was going home. He took a shortcut under the bridge, where the sludge villain came out of the sewers. Deku was caught off guard, so the sludge villain started to suffocate Deku. Then he realized what's happening. Deku noticed there were a few plastic bottles that were laying on the ground. Then he crushes the sludge villain and puts them in the bottles. All of a sudden you hear, "Never fear, 'cause I am here." Deku looks up to see All Might. Deku looks up to see All Might. Deku is shocked to see the #1 hero. Then All Might asks, "Young man, have you seen a sludge villain anywhere?" Deku just stood in shock for a second. Then he says, "Yeah, it's right here." All Might says, "Thank you, young man." Deku asks for All Might's autograph. While All Might was signing his notebook, Deku asked Can I be a hero with my quirk? All Might asks. What's your quirk, young man? Deku says, my quirk is telekinesis, and I can lift up to about 200... no. I can actually lift up to 2,370 pounds. All Might says, of course you can be a hero. You would be a good rescue hero. You would be a good rescue hero and a good combat hero, now I think of it. Deku, hearing that, is really, really, really happy. Then All Might jumps off. Deku sees a bottle fall out of All Might's pocket. So Deku makes himself fly and catches the bottle. Then he goes off to All Might, who had just landed on a building. Deku says, hey All Might, you dropped this. Then smoke enveloped All Might. Then a skinny man stands there. Deku gets on guard and says, who are you? Where's All Might? Are you a villain? The skinny man says, I am All Might. Then he explains to Deku that he got an injury 5 years ago that tore through his organs and half of his stomach, and that now he can only do his hero work for a limited amount of time. Then Deku says, okay, you drop this, All Might, as he hands All Might the bottle that contains the sludge villain. All Might laughs for 30 seconds, and then says, okay, where's the other one, young man? Deku looks confused and says, what other one? As then you hear a loud boom in the distance. Deku makes him and All Might float over to about a block down from where the explosion happened. They start running over to see what's happening. Then, when they finally get a good view of what's happening, they see the heroes with the sludge villain, not as big as a sludge villain, not as big as the wooden cannon, because there was 2 bottles this time, so about half of the size of the sludge villain. So imagine that, with the pro hero surrounding it. Deku is thinking, why aren't they doing anything? Then he hears someone in the crowd say, they can't do anything because a civilian's trapped in there. Deku gets a better look and sees it Bakugo. He's frozen in fear for a second. He's like, no, Bakugo can't die. No, I won't let it. As Deku just dashes in. The sludge villain sees him and says, get this kid away from me. Get this kid away from me. But it's too late. Deku started squishing the sludge villain, bringing Bakugo out of the sludge villain. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys this. The way Deku flies, if you've seen the Avengers, you know how Scarlet Witch, flies, jumps-ish? That's pretty much how Deku does it, but without that red aura coming from his hands. The pro heroes are stunned to see this kid get the other kid out of the sludge villain with such ease, and they had so much trouble to do it. All Might seeing this and this kid, he just went without thinking. He's gonna be my successor. He brings Bakugo back to the pro heroes while he still has the sludge villain in a spear shape above, 6 feet above them. And then he says to the crowd, anyone get a plastic bottle? Luckily someone had one on hand and threw it over. And then Deku just put the sludge villain into the bottle. The pro hero scolded him a little for using his quirk without permission, but they did acknowledge that he did get the kid out when they were having trouble, so they did praise him a little. Deku was walking home and see Bakugo there. Not Deku was walking home. While he was walking home, Bakugo came up behind him and said, "Hey, Deku, I didn't need your help, but thank you. Here, have this gum. Actually, no. We'll go to the arcade later. Actually, no. Tomorrow. We'll go to the arcade tomorrow and play some games. How about that? It'll be for free. I'll be paying." Deku's just like, "Sure." As he continues walking away. And then All Might turns the corner, and says, "I am here," as he de-transforms into Small Might form. Deku's like, "All Might? What are you doing here?" He's like, "Young man, I want you to become my successor to my quirk." Deku's just confused. He's like, "What do you mean? I can't become a successor to a quirk. It's not possible. You can't give people quirks." He's like, "Young man, I saw what you did back there. You ran without thinking, didn't you?" Deku thinks for a second. He's like, "Yeah, I did." All Might's like, "Young man, you will be my successor. All you have to do is accept. I can give you a power. It's a quirk called One for All. It's passed down through generation. Will you accept it?" Deku's like, "Yeah, I will take it." All Might's like, "Good. Meet me on Dagobah Beach tomorrow. There we'll start your training." Okay, guys, I have to pause this because I just realized what time it was, and my e-learning class is about to continue. So, okay, guys, I'm back. I don't exactly remember where I left off, but I have a pretty good idea. Yeah, let's get back into the video. All Might said, "Okay, meet me at Dagobah Beach tomorrow morning. We'll start the training so you can prepare yourself for One for All." Deku's like, "Okay, All Might." Deku goes home. He talks to his mom a little because she started scolding him because she saw what happened on the news with Bakugo and the sludge villain. So Deku's on his bed. He's like, "I wonder what we're gonna do tomorrow for the training." And then Deku falls asleep. Deku wakes up at 4 in the morning, eats breakfast, and decides to go to the beach early. When it hits 5 in the morning, Small Might comes up and says, "Midoriya, you're already here. Good, we can start training early." So, pretty much what we're going to see is what we saw in canon, but Deku trained his body a bit more. So, if he was to inherit One for All as is, he would be able to do 4% of One for All. And since Deku, at the end of the 10 months of training, was able to use 5%, Deku's going to be able to use 9% right now. So, the training's over, and actually, no. I'm going to say Deku cleaned up the beach early, since All Might says to also train your quirk a little too. You have permission to. So we're going to go. He's going to be able to use 8% of One for All, and he has a month to train with One for All. So, it's 1 month until the entrance exam, and the beach is just got cleaned. Almost like, well done, young Midoriya. Here, eat this. Midoriya's like, what? This is the only way to inherit one for all. You have to take a piece of my DNA. So Midoriya goes to the convenience store, which was right across the street, bought a huge thing of water, ate the hair, and drank and chugged the whole thing down. Okay, and then All Might's like, here, why don't we spar a little while we wait for One for All to enter? So they sparred for a little. Deku is no match for All Might, even if he's using 9%. All Might's using 10%, because he doesn't want to kill the kid. So then Deku's like, I feel a surge of energy running through me. And then All Might's like, yes, that's One for All. The spark has just started. Okay. Try to put One for All throughout all the muscles you work at, which is every muscle. So make the power flow through you. So Deku starts doing that. He's using full Cal at this point, so he already learned full Cal. And then he's like, Midoriya's like, this hurts! As he turns off, full Cal. He's like, oh, I forgot to actually, no. Deku breaks every bone in his body. I'm gonna say that. Because All Might's a terrible teacher. I think we've all seen that in the MHA. All Might's a terrible teacher. So we're gonna say it was so bad. All Might didn't waste any time. He brought Deku straight to Recovery Girl. Recovery Girl's like, what did you do, Toshinori? He's like, I kind of forgot to tell him to lessen the percent. It's like, of course you did, as Recovery Girl hits the cane on All Might's head. All Might's like, come on, did I really deserve that? You're right, you deserve more. As she kept on hitting him for a minute. Then Deku regains consciousness half a day later. So it's nighttime. Actually, no. It's like sunset. It's sunset time. Yeah, that's the time. So Deku's like, oh, what happened? Oh, yeah. I was using One for All. And my bone broke. Actually, not one, says Recovery Girl. All of your bones broke, sweetie. Deku's like, who are you? I'm Recovery Girl. That fool of symbol of peace brought you here. Then All Might's like, yeah, sorry about that, young Midoriya. I forgot to tell you to lessen the percentage of One for All. Deku's like, you could have told me that before I used it. Yeah, sorry about that. Or just rest a little bit more, young Midoriya. You can go after an hour. He's like, okay. As he goes to sleep for a little bit. When Deku finally wakes up, he gets his backpack back on, since he did bring that to his training, and walked out the door. When he gets home, Inko is like, oh my gosh, where were you? Where were you, Deku? He's like, I was out training. She's like, what am I gonna do with you? Okay. The next day, they're training again. This time, he says, lessen the percent imagine like the volume things in the car to change the volume. Imagine using that. I'm gonna say he used that because that's what I was gonna. If I was thinking, I'm like, why don't you just do that? So that's how Deku's gonna regulate his power. Then Deku starts regulating the power output. So right now he's using 1% of one for all. And he's standing still. He starts moving a little bit. He's like, okay. As he bumps it up to 2%. He's like, okay, no, I don't feel any strain. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once he goes to 9, he's like, I'm starting to feel strain. As he stops, he's like, 8% is my limit. He tells All Might this. All Might's like, good to know. Good to know what your limits are. Let me try something. As Deku goes to 9%, which he feels a little bit of strain. Then he goes to 10, 11, 12. When he's about to go to 13, he's like at 12.5, and he feels the strain completely. So once he goes to 12.5%, because he's about to go to 13, he stops. He's like, nope, I'm not going to 13. That's probably gonna break my bones. He's like, okay, so my limit is 12%. I mean, with strain, my limit is 10%. Without is 9%. So now we're gonna do the entrance exam. Wait, before we do that, do you like my unscripted videos? Because this one, once I said, then Deku and All Might hear a loud boom, that's when my script ended. So when Deku was saving saving Bakugo for the sludge villain, that was unscripted. Do you like these videos? Tell me down below. Oh, yep. So it's the entrance exam now. Yeah, I have time. Nope, not you. Okay. It's the entrance exam. Deku's walking. He still trips. When he's about to use his telekinesis to bring him back up, he feels someone tap his shoulder, and then he starts floating. He's like, whoa, what's going on? And then Uraraka says the same thing she does in canon. Oops, sorry for using my quirk on you. As they walk in to the entrance exam. Actually, no, we're gonna say Bakugo and Midoriya walk together. So when that happened, Bakugo started to make fun of Midoriya a little. He's like, oh, you already have a girlfriend? Midoriya is just blushing hard. You already know the shit for this video. Yeah. So the entrance exam doesn't start. Midoriya gets the same. Actually, no, he's gonna get better than in canon, because he can use his telekinesis to hold up 3. Instead of like reading 2 books at one time with one hand, with your 2 hands, he can read up to 3 or more. So I'm gonna say he can read up to 3 books at a time. So Deku he gets more points. That's all I don't know his placement exactly anymore. I forgot about that. We're gonna say he's right below Momo. So they're in the thing when President Mike is explaining about the robots. Ida, being Ida, still says, there's a 4th robot that you haven't said. Is this a mistake of UA? And Deku still is like muttering a little. So once he starts talking about Midoriya, he's like, and you! Midoriya uses his telekinesis because he was getting annoyed. So he clamped Ida's mouth together so he couldn't say anything. So all you hear is, and you! So then Ida sat down, so Midoriya unclamped his lips. So now it's the entrance exam. Midoriya sees Uraraka being nervous, so he starts walking up to her. But, Ida has to stop people. Has to yell at them. That's his thing. He goes up to Midoriya and says, "If you're going to distract this girl..." Midoriya has enough of this kid. He just clamps his mouth and pushes him over with the telekinesis. Not over, just like move him to the side with the telekinesis and walks over. Because in this version, Midoriya is still kind, but if you mess with him, he will mess with you right back. That's his personality. If you don't mess with him, he doesn't mess with you. If you mess with him, he messes with you. He goes to Uraraka and says, "Hey," some encourages words. Think of a conversation you would want. And then the doors start opening, and President Mike says, "Go, go, go! There's no countdown for a real villain attack," as everyone starts going. Deku starts destroying 1, 2, 3-pointers. He's going to get 5 3-pointers, so that'll bring him up to 15 points. 5 2-pointers, so that's going to bring him up to... Sorry guys, I'm terrible with math sometimes. That's going to bring him up to 25, and then he's going to be able to get rid of 6 1-pointers before the 0-pointer comes. So that would bring his total up to 31 points. But he also has saved some people. So his hero points would be at, I'll say 20. So that would give him 50 points right now. Then the 0-pointer comes up. Deku's just stunned at the size of it. Then he hears Uraraka yelling, "Help, help." And then Deku, without thinking, uses 100% of One for All. Actually, no. I'm going to say he uses 12% of One for All. He jumps, not as high, he gets 1/4 of the way. So, I can't remember. No. He isn't able to use air pressure right now. Okay, so he jumps up using One for All with his telekinesis, so he's able to make up the way without using 100%. Then he goes 100% in his arm, punching the 0-pointer in the face, doing the same as a cannon, but this time he's not going to break his leg. He only broke one of his arms, and that's it. So, Deku cushions the land. He pretty much stops him from almost dying and having Uraraka slap him in the face to keep him alive. We're going to skip. He doesn't have to do that. So he picks up the rubble with using One for All and telekinesis. And then picks up Uraraka with telekinesis and brings... While he's doing that, you hear, "The exam is now over. Hope you had enough points to pass." Any injured, go to... Recovery Girl. So he brings Uraraka over to Recovery Girl. Recovery Girl heals Uraraka and then says, "You did it again, didn't you?" "Yeah, I kind of had to." Kids these days. As she heals Deku. Okay, so Deku is waiting for the entrance, not entrance exam, the letter, his entrance letter. I don't know what they're called anymore. So when he gets it, he opens it up, and he sees All Might come up and say, "Izuku Midoriya, young Midoriya, you have passed with..." Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. He had 56 hero points. So the 60 he had originally, they had to cut his hero points because he did injure himself. So he does not get that many hero points taken off of him because he did not break his legs. He only broke one of his arms, and he used that arm to protect Uraraka and everything, and he picked up the rubble and everything. So altogether, that'll give him 100 hero points. So take off 56, so he was at 46 villain points. So he has 146 points altogether. And he's like, almost like, you tied with my record, young Midoriya. Welcome to your Hero Academia. As Deku's crying, Iko is hearing from the other door. She heard the letter a little. She especially heard the part that says, welcome to your Hero Academia. And she's like, she's also crying like heck. I think Deku has a hidden quirk. Quirk waterfall. Able to cry waterfalls. Put that down in the comments if you also agree that his quirk is waterfalls. Able to cry waterfalls. And that's where I'm actually no. Let me think here. Wait, hold up. After a long time of Jeopardy music and everything, I have come to a conclusion. I will do Aizawa's the first day of UA and Aizawa's test. I'm not gonna do the heroes versus villains in this part or USJ. So let's just okay. So Midoriya is on the train, going to UA. He spots Bakugo. They talk for a little. People notice that they're wearing UA uniforms. Kind of like, oh my gosh, these people are gonna be great heroes. So they get to UA, right? They walk in, they sit down. Ida starts yelling at Bakugo for putting his feet on, and Izuku's having none of that. It's like me when I had my gaming video part 2, my balloon tower defense. I did not have my coffee yet. So it's gonna be Deku's gonna be like that. It's like, I have not had my coffee yet. I don't want to listen to you. Boop. So you hear, get your feet off of that. You are disrespecting people that have been here. So yeah, that's how that's gonna go. Uraraka walks in and says, "Hey, you're the one who saved me. Thank you." And Deku's blushing hard. He's like, "Yeah, it's no problem." Bakugo's just dying in the inside. He's like, this kid is gonna have he already has a girlfriend, and it's the first day of school. So Aizawa walks in. He's like, if you're here to make friends, I suggest you leave. And he chews out the class for still taking 8 seconds to quiet down. And then Aizawa was like, put these on and get outside. Uraraka, I think it was Uraraka. I haven't seen the first season in forever, because I'm still watching season 4. I finished season 4. I keep on rewatching season 4 and reading the manga. If you haven't read the manga, I'm gonna go into the manga with this. Yep, that's how that's gonna work. So Mineta still tries to peek into the to the girls' locker room through that hole. So Midoriya, he didn't overdose on it like Ida, but he still has that respect women vibe. He will respect them. So he makes his Mineta's eyes close, and he uses his hand and makes him slap himself. So, yep, he slapped himself, and Mineta's like, what just happened? What? As Midoriya as Kirishima's like noticed Midoriya that he's kind of ripped, and he's like, dude. Okay, I'm sorry for doing that. I do not have a voice for Kirishima. I'm sorry. He's like, dang man, you're manly. Yeah, that's gonna be my voice. Dang, you're ripped, man. You're manly. As Midoriya is just like, whatever. As he just walks out. He's out there waiting. And then Aizawa finally wakes up, because I'm going to say he just was sleeping on the ground. Aizawa did not care. He's just going to be sleeping on the ground. Aizawa wakes up and he's like, okay. As he throws a ball to Midori, he's like, you scored first in the entrance exam. What was your highest throw in middle school? Softball throw in middle school. Deku's like, I think it was 65 meters. And Aizawa was like, good. Now throw this ball with using your quirk. As Deku charges up 9% in his arm, but that finger that he used 100% on, he has that at 12%. As he throws the ball, it's gonna. Because remember, 100% got him that far, only in a finger for a split second. So I'm gonna say he gets Actually, no, he threw it, and then when it was about to hit the ground, he used his telekinesis to pick it up. So I'm gonna say he got around. I'm gonna say he gets around 6,500 meters. Everyone's shocked. Even Aizawa was surprised a little. He's like, this kid has potential. And I could sense he was holding back for some odd reason. So Aizawa asked, why were you holding back? And everyone's shocked. They're like, wait, what? This kid was holding back? He's like, yeah, because if I use it too much, my arm will break. He's like, oh, okay. So the rest of the test goes like normal, but Midoriya will get second. He's gonna get second place out of the whole test. Momo's still gonna get first. Actually, no. I'm gonna say they tied. Momo and Deku tied for the thing. Okay, so they're walking back home. Ida doesn't come up to him, or Rocket does, and they talk. Midoriya is blushing like there's no tomorrow, like Canon, but Ida backs off a little, because he's like, I'm not gonna talk to this kid that much. So yeah, this is where I'm gonna leave it off, guys. Hope you like, subscribe, all of that, and goodbye.